Have you ever wondered when you woke up, what do my dreams mean? Or these dreams are quite complex. Why am I having dreams? Or what about, wow, that was an amazing dream? Or even, why did I dream about someone that I knew 10 years ago? Weird. And what about if you could control your dreams? Would that be cool? What about having the ability to fly? What about having the ability to have any food that you want? Flying on a magic carpet? Or, being in a fantasy adventure? Or even just traveling overseas to a destination you haven't been before, or a destination you've been. All this is possible. This, my friends, is called Lucid Dreaming. And in today's video, that's what we'll discuss. Enjoy. What's going on, peeps? My name's Chris and I love everything to do with the mind. So my channel is all about giving you tools, tips and anything that I can to help you learn, grow. So lucid dreaming, great subject. Very passionate about this. Now I'm going to explain this in the best way that I can. You go to sleep at night, you have a dream. In your dream, you kind of feel like everything's normal, like you're not aware that you're dreaming, right? But you are. But what about coming into terms with, oh, hold on, I'm dreaming? So that's what lucid dreaming is. You become fully consciously aware that you're dreaming. So I had many experiences with this years ago. I still have the off occasional experience and I haven't been practicing. So it's good that it's still happening. But if you practice, it happens. So with lucid dreaming, the whole idea is that you become fully conscious aware that you are dreaming. It's possible. Everyone can learn to do it. It's just practice. Practice makes progress. Just remember that. Being consistent works. So this first started out for me when I watched the movie Inception. Great movie. If you haven't watched it, bit of a mind bender, but goes into the ability of dreams. Great movie. So after that I started researching about this thing called lucid dreaming. I don't know how it came about to me fully, but maybe just doing research in Inception and then it came from there. And then I went down the rabbit hole of dreaming, and I was always interested in dreams ever since a young age. I remember I had my first lucid dream probably when I was around 8. And I remember what happened in that was I realized that I was dreaming, and I'm like, hold on, I'm dreaming. I said it to the girl that I went to school with in primary school, and then it was just weird. Everything went all weird. At that point, I didn't know what lucid dreaming was. I was a kid. But then, as I got older, watching the movie Inception reignited that. And because I'm always been interested in how the subconscious works, happens. So yeah, it sent me on this rabbit hole down how lucid dreaming works, how you can make it happen, practicing, and that's what I'm going to teach you today. So I'm going to start off with 3 tips and a bonus tip for you. So the first thing is, a lot of people say that they don't remember their dreams. Now I understand this because I don't remember my dreams all the time. Some days are better than others. But you can also train yourself to remember your dreams. Now, if you want to know about how to train yourself to remember your dreams, send me a message and I'll give you some tips with that. Memory is also a really good thing to kind of develop because it will help. Now, that's the first tip. Easy one first off. So a dream journal is basically something like this, and like these are all my dreams, from, I think this goes back till November 2018. Wow, because I haven't written in it every night. Okay, so it's okay. Now that is the thing that you'll need to write down your dreams once you remember them. after you wake up, which is important to remember. So I'll say this one now with number 1 tip. First thing you do when you wake up, write it down, because within about 30 seconds, even less, it can just go, see you later. And you don't want that. You want to remember them. After a while of doing this, they get bigger, 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 bigger. So that's tip number 1. Okay, now, second one. This is where the gold is, guys. So remember, listen to this one, utilize it, practice it, be consistent, and you'll see this happen. So it's reality check. Now, a reality check is basically something that you can tell yourself to do every day, more than once. Maybe the more you do it, the better it's going to train your mind to look for it. Now, what I mean by that is this. I'll give you an example. My reality check was always looking at my hand and being like, am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? And I'd ask myself throughout the day. Now, I'd stare at my hand, I'd wait, I'd see if anything weird happened, I'd look around, ask myself, am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? Trying not to look like I'm on some type of drug. But usually, obviously, in modern day life or daily life, you're not dreaming. But once I practiced that over a certain period of time, that would then train your mind to look for it in your dreams, because it becomes a habit. And that's what you want to create, a habit. So when you're dreaming, you look at your hand and you're like, am I dreaming? And for me, what happens is my hand's swirling, like if you've ever seen those hypnotic spirals and you look at them for like 30 seconds to a minute, and then you look at your hand, it's moving. That's what my reality check looks like in a dream. Some people may experience having 7 fingers. Some people may experience their hands changing color. Some people may experience their hands melting. There's different things that you can experience. Another reality check way is pushing your finger through your hand and asking yourself the same thing. There's many types of reality checks. Those are 2 that I'm giving you right now. So that is the way to train yourself. Be consistent with it. Practice every day. Sooner or later, you're going to create the habit that goes into your subconscious, just like when you're learning something, and then boom, you'll find yourself in a dream at one point. Now, let's talk about, before I hit the third point, let's talk about what happens when you go into that lucid dream state and stabilizing. Okay, so this, let's just say this is tip number 3, and I'll give the bonus one after. So tip number 3 is what happens when you go into the lucid dream and you realize that you're lucid dreaming, and stabilizing. So the first thing, the first couple of times, you usually get really excited and you're like, wow, I'm actually doing it. And bang, you come out of your dream, you wake up. Sucks. But if you can remember to do this, once you've got that little step done, you're on your way. But stabilizing is the next important thing. So the way I stabilize is there's 2 ways. First way, which I've known is way more powerful for myself, is using logic, like mathematical equations. So whether it's, 5 plus 3 is 8, 5 times 4 is 20, 3 times, you get the idea, right? Just use small mathematical equations that allow your logical mind to activate, and then stuff just starts stabilizing. Don't ask me how this works, because I'm unsure. I think it's just activating a different part of your brain. Now, the other way is rubbing your hands together. That can be done because it's sensation, feeling, or even touching something in your dream and feeling the senses of it, because it feels real, right? Now, that is one of the most important things, but get to the first step first. If you can remember that while you're dreaming, cool, about the stabilizing. If not, it's okay, you're still on your way. Now, the bonus thing that I'm going to tell you is a technique called wake back to bed. Now, wake back to bed is you wake up 4.5 hours, so set an alarm 4.5 hours after you go to sleep. After you wake up, after that 4.5 hours, stay up for about 20 minutes, engage the logic part of your mind to kind of keep it a bit awake, and then go back to sleep. When you go back to sleep, there is something called the mild technique, which is mnemonic-induced lucid dream, okay? But let's not use much jargon. Let's just say it's an affirmation, okay? When you use that after you go back to sleep, after the 4.5 hours that you've gotten up, woke up for 20 minutes and gone back to sleep, and you say, the next time I'm dreaming, I'm going to become aware that I'm dreaming. Okay, just say that. It just helps train your mind, and your mind will absorb that, and hopefully you'll have a dream. This is like a little faster technique, and a lot of people get lucid dreaming faster if they use this. But I understand, hard to wake up 4.5 hours through sleep in the middle of the night, but it works. There's studies done on this and everything like that, and that seems to be the way that a lot of people get the best progress. So that is basically it for the tips. Now let me just explain a few other things with that. I've had experiences where I've flown over water, I felt the wind on my face, I felt water splashing up, while I've been flying over the water. I've had experiences where I've eaten cake, and it was a chocolate cake, and it tasted the best cake I've ever tasted in my life. Don't ask me why, but the food in your dreams tastes 10 times better than it does in reality. And there's many other things that I've done. I've pulled people out of hats. I've met some celebrities. I've done a lot of different things. Back then it was more for entertainment. Now I would utilize it for getting into the subconscious and shifting things. So this is where some interesting points come up. The Tibetans, the ancient Egyptians, Native Americans, a lot of these ancient cultures all had a respect for dreaming. Now I'll tell you, with the Tibetans, they have 3 types of yogas, and they are called dream yoga, which is basically the concept of you go into your dream. It's like lucid dreaming, conscious dreaming, and you turn, let's say, a flower into a table. Now, from what I remember, this was utilized to have the ability to have more control over your thoughts, to be able to change a thought at an instant, right? This makes sense. So maybe in an everyday life, let's look at it from the Western world. You have a thought which gives you anxiety, or it's a thought that you don't want. They're training their ability to be able to be like, okay, navigate it that way. So that's the first one, dream yoga. The second one is Kriya yoga. So the Tibetans did this for a mini form of enlightenment. So they'd go into like a deep sleep and not dream, but be consciously aware the whole time, which was a mini form of enlightenment. And then you've got Bardo yoga, and they believe that Bardo yoga is the ability to, once they pass away, they're training themselves to stay conscious as a form of consciousness until they resurrect into the new body. Okay, so that is one part of the Tibetan monk stuff that I learned, which is amazing. The other one is, there was a Tibetan monk that said consciously dreaming, it's like having, lucid dreaming, it's like having a direct highway to your subconscious mind. So with that being said, think about it like this. If you go into your subconscious mind, so let's say if you go into your dream and you practice something that you're learning, maybe it's playing guitar, playing piano, let's just use those for examples. Now, when you practice that in your dream, it's 9 times more effective than it is in reality. The reason this is because you've got a conscious and subconscious coming together as one. Now, you know that if you practice something like in normal reality, waking reality, that practice makes progress, right? But that's because you're programming your subconscious, right? When you jumped into your car to learn how to drive, it didn't happen straight away, right? You took time to learn, and then it became automatic, like it is now. Same with tying your shoelace. But because you have that direct highway into your subconscious mind, it's shortening the space, so you learn it faster. So just something to remember, that's what I love about, this ability. Everyone can do it. So that's basically it for a bit of the information. Now, if you want more kind of information about it or books and stuff, there's plenty of information online. 2 books that I will recommend this is the first one. It's called Exploring the World of Lucid Dreaming by Stephen LaBarge. Now, this guy's a pioneer in the lucid dreaming space. He's been around for ages and ages. This is quite an older book, but it's a goodie. It's a goodie. I need to go back over it. Another one is Lucid Dreaming, Gateway to the Inner Self. Now, this one is by a guy named Robert Wagner. Again, another pioneer. This book really goes into a lot more deeper details and fascinating things that come up with it. There are links down below for those, and if, like I said, if you want, get them through there. If not, you don't need them. Everything I have given you today is enough, okay? But if you want to learn more, books are good. Other than that, there is some programs online. I'll put some links down below as well. Some people have some great programs. Again, don't need them, but if you want to dive in more and become a bit of an expert or learn more, that's why they're there. So other than that, I'm pretty sure I've covered everything. So in light of that, down below you see the magical buttons there. You know what to do. Helps me out just to where I'm at. That's it. Like, share, subscribe, all those amazing things. Do backflips. I don't know if there's a button for that yet though, but maybe let's see in the future. So that's about all the information for today. Now, if you want to learn more, let me know. Other than that, comment down below and let me know, when you get into a lucid dream, what are you going to do? What's the number one thing you'd like to do? Comment down below. As always, make someone smile today. Something so small makes a huge difference. So anyone can do that, easy. And keep on keeping on, go gently, and much love, guys.